Where are you going, Granny?
Medical emergency! Here I am, Ellie. Who's ailing? One of the neighbors?
No, ma'am. It's Fairchild.
You're Bear? You call me the doctor of varmint?
Fairchild ain't no varmint.
Well, he ain't people, and I'm a people doctor.
Well, take a look at him. He's breathing heavy, and he moans considerable, and his nose is warm. Please, doctor.
Well, I have swore an oath to end suffering wherever I finds it. All right.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Granny's gonna make you well, Fairchild.
Stick out your tongue.
Maybe you'd better reach into his mouth and get it.
Uh-huh. Now, let's hear how this chest sounds. Say 99. 99.
He can't talk.
Oh, I forgot. He's got the croup, Ellie, and a touch of the grizzly fever.
Can you cure him?
Oh, sure. I'll cook up a strong poultice for his chest. That'll draw out the inflammation. Now, you keep him warm.
Yes?
Oh, Miss Hathaway, there's an admiral here to see you.
Admiral?
Well, he's handsome enough to be an admiral, divinely tall, broad shoulders, one of those rugged men of the sea.
Ask him to come in.
If you're busy, I could entertain him.
I'm not busy.
Too bad. Come in, sir. All right, girls, back to the secretarial pool.
You may go too, Darlene. Yes, Lieutenant.
Are you Jane Hathaway?
That is correct. Miss Jane Hathaway.
I miss darling Mattingly.
You may go, Miss Mattingly.
My name is Templeton, and...
Of course, Matthew Templeton. Well, you're the man I found in the forest.
What forest is that?
You may go, Darlene.
That was my brother you found in the forest, Miss Hathaway. My name is Mark Templeton.
Well, the resemblance is striking.
Well, we're often mistaken for one another. I'm looking for the Clampetts, and my brother said that you could put me in touch with them.
Indeed, I can. I'll give you their address and telephone number. Matter of fact, if you need transportation, I'll be happy to drive you over.
I have a car, but I would appreciate an introduction.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. As soon as Mr. Drysdale returns, we'll drive over.
All right, what's going on here?
Oh, Mr. Drysdale, Miss Hathaway is entertaining a very handsome Navy man in your office.
Oh, she is she? Well, back to your desks. And no coffee breaks today. Miss Hathaway, this is a bank, not the USO. Bring it up.
Chief, may I present Lieutenant Mark Templeton of the United States Navy?
Oh, are you here to open an account?
No, sir.
Make a loan?
No, sir.
Shove off, sailor.
Chief!
Anchors away, both of you. I'm a busy man.
But, Chief...
Out!
Well, Lieutenant, I am terribly sorry. Mr. Drysdale's been in a foul mood ever since interest rates went down.
How's the bear poultice coming, Doctor?
Got it all cooked, Ellie. Now we'll just let it cool a mite.
Sure smells strong. What's in it?
Well, your base is skunk oil and turpentine. Then you thicken that with sulfur, dog bane, stinkweed, rock salt, hog bristles, and minced beetles. And then right at the last, I stir in a double handful of diced cockleburrs and night crawlers. Now, while it's cooling, we'll take his temperature and we'll check his pulse.
It's gone!
Great gut, got it!
Jethro! Did you eat what was in that pot?
Yeah. And from the way it tasted, you must have cooked it.
I cooked that.
You're slipping, Granny. That's all I could do to choke it down.
Greetings, Mr. Clampett.
Howdy, Miss Jane.
I'll bet bet this gentleman looks familiar to you.
He does, for a fact. You're that preacher from back in the hills, Matthew Templeton.
Well, actually, I'm his brother, Mark.
Aren't they look-alikes?
Like two peas in a pod.
I understand there was a little mix-up with my brother.
There was, for a fact. Granny had him and my daughter Ellie halfway down the aisle before she found out he was married.
Matthew was awfully upset about that.
Not as upset as Granny.
Well, come on inside and meet the family.
Beautiful home you have here, Mr. Clampett.
Yeah, thank you. It's a lot more than we need.
Jed, I'm out of rock salt. And it's the married preacher that nearly broke Ellie's heart. Keep your gun on him, Jed.
They just look alikes, Granny. That's the preacher's brother.
Granny, this is Lieutenant Mark Templeton. And he's not married.
I'm pleased to meet you, Granny.
You ain't got a wife?
No, ma'am.
You're absolutely 100% single?
Yes, ma'am.
Engaged?
No, ma'am.
I'm glad to make your acquaintance. Take him into the parlor, Miss Jane. Keep your gun on him, Jed.
What for?
We ain't letting this one get away. Ellie, darling, quick, get into your prettiest dresses. What in the world are you doing?
Cooking up a new poultice for my bear.
But, Ellie, I'm not a rock doll. And that's what sops up the skunk oil. Let's get this outside before it smells up the whole house. Company's here to see you.
Who is it?
Remember that handsome preacher back in the hills?
Sure do.
Well, this is his brother. And he's bigger and handsomer and singler.
And he's here to see me?
He ain't here to see me. Now get upstairs and do what I...
Look, Granny. My bear's up and gone. He must be well.
Good. Now get upstairs and scrub yourself with lye soap. It's the only thing that'll cut that skunk oil.
Yes, Granny.
I declare you are gamier than a goat in August.
Ellie is a perfectly lovely girl, Lieutenant. You'll... Oh, here she comes now.
Get going, Ellie.
That was Ellie?
No, Nellie. She's our hired girl. Poor thing, she was emptying the garbage and fell in it. Ellie's up in her boudoir, doing some fancy sewing and jotting down some of her famous recipes and having her picture took for the cover of a beauty magazine. I'll go tell her you're here.
You'll like Ellie, Lieutenant. She's really something.
So's Granny.
Yeah.
Where's Miss Hathaway?
She went up to the Clampetts with Lieutenant Templeton.
He's a friend of the Clampetts?
Well, he's gone up there to meet Ellie Mae. Lucky girl.
And I threw him out of my office. Oh, this is terrible.
I'm coming. Well, come in, Mr. Drysdale.
Thank you, Mr. Clampett. Well, what do you think of my boy, Lieutenant Templeton?
Your boy?
Well, didn't Miss Hathaway tell you that I'm the one who sent him over to meet Ellie Mae?
Well, no, sir, she didn't.
Well, now, I handpicked that lad from the entire United States Navy.
You sure picked a dandy.
Well, I told you I'd be the one to find the right man for Ellie.
You know him well, do you?
He's like my own son.
Is that a fact?
Why, yes. Mark and I...
Chief! What are you doing here?
Well, you may ask. Shame on you. You didn't tell Mr. Clampett everything.
About what?
Never mind, I won't embarrass you. Let's go.
Well, it's the terrible-tempered Mr. Drysdale.
You never forget, do you? I had to speak rather sharply to him in the office. He's always been a sensitive lad. Well, see you later, Mark, my boy.
Mark, my boy?
Yeah, Mr. Drysdale said you're like a son to him.
Oh, brother.
Oh, you're right. Brother is better. I'm a little young to be a father image. Let's go.
Well, here comes Ellie Mae. Now you two can get acquainted, Mark.
Wow. Ah, Ellie Mae. Allow me to present Lieutenant Mark Templeton of the United States Navy.
Howdy, Mark. Pleased to meet you.
The pleasure is mine, Ellie Mae.
Now that I've brought you together, may the ship of happiness carry you across the sea of tranquility into the harbor of bliss. Bon voyage, my children.
are the biggest phony, the lowest fink, the most unprincipled scoundrel who ever lived.
Thanks. I needed that. Let's go.
Now then, you young'uns sit right here in the parlor and get acquainted.
Well, thank you, Mr. Clampett.
Hey, May, if you want to serve refreshments, there's cider and icebox.
Thank you, Pa.
Nice cold glass of cider sounds pretty good to me right now. How about you, Granny? Granny? Granny,
What do you want, Jed?
how about a cold glass of cider?
Yeah, bring me a tall one. Now, Mrs. Templeton, there's a few questions I would like to ask you.
Granny,
What do you want, Jed?
I need you in the kitchen.
You young'uns will have to excuse me. He needs me. He's a widower, you know. It's sad when a man ain't got a wife to look after him. Pitiful. I hope that never happens.
Granny,
I'm coming, Jed.
Just amazing how much you look like your brother.
Well, it's just amazing how much you look like the hired girl.
Well, we ain't got no hired girl.
I kind of figured it couldn't be two as pretty as you.
What do you want, Jed?
I want you to leave them young'uns alone.
Wouldn't you like to know something about the man that is proposing to your daughter?
Granny, they ain't even shook hands yet.
How do you know for sure? That fella's a sailor. These fast workers.
Granny, will you just leave them alone for a spell?
Jed, it's a father's duty to know something about the man that's courting his daughter.
Well, I don't know. For starters, he's nice looking, he's single, he's an officer, and Mr. Drysdale handpicked him out of the whole United States Navy.
Ain't that awful dangerous, spending so much time underwater?
Well, we go through a very thorough training course, the Frogman program, before we ever start working with the porpoises and whales.
How do you work with them?
Right now, we're conducting experiments and communicating with them. We think we might be able to interpret their language.
You mean they talk?
In a sense, yes. They emit a series of sounds which we're trying to decode and understand.
Bet you I could understand them.
What makes you think so?
Well, Pa says if you can understand Jethro, you can understand anything.
I gotta do some chores outside.
Yeah, you run along, Jed.
Now, before I go, I want you to promise me that you'll stay in this kitchen and leave them young'uns alone.
I promise.
Granny, can we have that cider now?
Oh, sure, honey. How are you two getting along?
Oh, fine and dandy.
You like him?
Sure do. You know what? He spends a lot of time in the ocean.
I suppose he does. On the boat.
No, ma'am, underwater, swimming around.
Why would he want to do that?
Well, he's learning to talk to critters that live in the ocean.
He talks to fish.
Well, sort of. Whales and porpoises and such. Why, he can stay underwater for better than an hour.
Lame sakes. That ain't human.
Can I be of any help?
Oh, no. Ellie, you take the cider into the parlor. I want to have a word with Mark here.
Yes, Granny.
My granddaughter tells me that you spend lots of time swimming around in the ocean.
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
She tells me that you talk to the critters who live in the ocean.
Well, I tried to.
She tells me that you can stay under the water for better than an hour.
That's right, I can.
Ain't that hard to do?
Not for me. I'm a frogman.
You're a what?
I'm a naval frogman. Well, excuse me.
Oh, no.
Hey, Granny, the second batch of stew is better than the first. Not as salty. Hey, Granny, what's the matter?
Oh, Jethro, I just had a terrible shock.
What is it?
Your cousin Ellie has fell for a freak.
A freak?
He's half man and half frog. Oh, from the waist up, he's beautiful. But from the navel down, he's pure frog.
You'll see, Elliot. Being a frogman isn't as dangerous as it sounds. We're carefully trained, and the Navy provides us with the very finest gear. This wetsuit keeps me warm, even at depths where the ocean temperatures might be 30 or 40 degrees. And these flippers give me great underwater propulsion. Say, I got an idea. You have a swimming pool?
Sure do, a great big one.
Suppose I demonstrate it for you.
Oh, fine and dandy. Could I put on my swimming suit and join you?
Great. Where's the pool?
Oh, around back. And there's a dressing room where you can change.
See you there.
Saints in heaven. It's worse than I thought. The frog half has taken over. There he goes. Must have spotted a fly. Ellie, honey, don't go up there.
Well, why not? I hear Mark splashing around in the pool.
Yeah, well, hearing him is one thing. Seeing him is something else.
What do you mean?
Ellie, remember when we had such high hopes for his brother Matthew, and he turned out to be married?
Yes, sir. But Mark is single.
And I found out why. Get a grip on yourself. He's a frog man.
Oh, I know that. He told me.
Don't it worry you?
Well, yes, it does. But he says it's nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Well, that's easy for him to say.
Mark says there's lots of frogmen in the Navy, and they do real important jobs. Well, like when the astronauts drops in the ocean, it's the frogmen that rescues them.
Well, I ain't saying they ain't useful, but you don't want to marry one.
Why not?
Why not? Have you ever seen a frogman?
No, ma'am.
Well, all right, go ahead. One look will cure you. Poor darling, she's in for an awful shock. Of course, it could be worse. Thank goodness the top half ain't frog.
Jethro, you seen anything of Granny?
Not lately.
I sure wish she'd show up and cook some victuals for our company.
Don't be too anxious. Did you taste that stew she made?
No.
It was awful. Hey, Granny, I'm hungry.
Get out of here, boy. I got a serious family problem to take up with your Uncle Jim.
Ain't you gonna cook no victuals?
No, I ain't. Now, scat.
Granny, I think it'd be kind of nice if you was to fix something for Ellie's date.
I don't cook bugs.
Bug?
I ain't too sure of that after eating your stew.
Get out of here! Well, Jed Clampett, so you didn't want me to ask that Templeton boy any serious questions about himself.
That's right.
I suppose it's all right with you if he just goes ahead and marries Ellie May.
After a proper courtship, could be.
Some courtship. If she kisses him, she'll get warts.
Warts?
I reckon that they'll be married in the cement pond, and you will just float your daughter up to him on a lily pad.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Mark Templeton. You don't know one thing about him.
Well, Granny, I told you Mr. Drysdale handpicked him.
Where'd he find him? In a pet shop?
That don't make sense.
It'll make sense when your grandchildren turn out to be tadpoles.
You been at your white lightning?
No, but it's a good idea. Let's have it.
Not till you explain all that crazy talk.
One picture is worth 1,000 words. Go down to the cement pond and take a look for yourself.
Take a look at what?
At what Mr. Drysdale wants your daughter to marry. And hang on to that jug. You're gonna need it.
Boy, you ought to see that Mark Templeton swim. He can really shoot through the water.
So could you if you had his hind legs.
Hind legs? Oh, well, anyway, Pa, he wants to know can he take me out to Vittles tonight.
Why, sure he can.
Good.
Don't let him order for you, honey. You'll wind up with a plate of grasshoppers.
Granny, I think you better go lay down for a spell.
I'll drink to that. Let's have it.
Mr. Clampett, would you and Granny like to join Ellie and me for dinner?
Oh, no thanks, Mark. You young'uns won't want us tagging along.
I thought we'd hop down to the beach.
That figures.
By the way, do you have some shoe polish I could borrow?
You betcha.
I'll fetch it, Jed. It beats me how you can squeeze into them shoes. Your feet must be killing you.
What'd you mean by that?
Don't pay no attention to her. The way she's acting today, this must have been a bad batch.
With a sailor.
I know that.
He ain't only a sailor, he's a frogman.
I know that, too. Now, go on to bed. Ellie can take care of herself.
I sure do thank you for a wonderful evening, Mark.
Can't we just sit here and talk for a while?
I see the light on in Granny's room. I reckon she's waiting up for me.
I wish Granny had stopped worrying about me being a frogman. Really seems to upset her.
I reckon she figures it's kind of dangerous, being underwater so much.
It's not all that dangerous. And it's a fascinating new frontier, the unexplored depths of the ocean. I hope to show it to you soon.
I'd love to see it.
Do you suppose I could get Granny down there?
Oh, I doubt it. She's awful scared of water.
He's got her in the parlor. Turn loose in my granddaughter, you fiend!
Be quiet, Granny.
What's going on in here?
I'm watching the early, late monster movie. Have you ever seen the creature from the slimy ooze?
Your cousin Ellie's out with it.
That rascal just grabbed a beautiful blonde girl, and now he don't know whether to take her to his world at the bottom of the swamp or to live in her world, a Park Avenue penthouse.
Jethro!
There he goes. He's dragging her down into the slimy ooze. Hot dog! Ain't he a dandy?
What a family. They's all hooked on freaks.
Well, that's the end of that one, Granny. Now comes a semi-late monster movie, The Lizard That Ate Philadelphia.
Jethro, I'm half worried out of my mind. I gotta have somebody to talk to. Your cousin Ellie is out with a naval frogman. From the navel down, he's a frog.
Oh, look, Granny. Yonder comes a vampire Batman, the green zombie, the werewolf, and the mad scientist. They's all good guys.
Oh, what's the use?
Granny!
Ellie, honey, are you all right? Where's the frogman? Did he try and take you to his swamp?
Of course not.
Well, run quick to the kitchen. Cut a tater in two. Rub yourself good with it, and then bury it.
What for?
So you won't get warts.
Granny, you leave that girl alone and go to bed.
You want her to get warts?
I want her to get some sleep, and you too. Did you have a nice evening, Ellie?
Oh, fine dandy, Paul. Mark and me's going on a picnic tomorrow.
Fine. Get to bed now.
What a family. His daughter's out with a frog. Did you have a nice evening, Ellie? Just dandy, Paul.
Hey, Granny, you want to see the giant pussycat that ate the lizard that ate Philadelphia?
No, I don't.
Where you going?
I'm going to check the weather signs. It might rain tomorrow, and there won't be no picnic. Of course, they wouldn't be bothered with ants. He'd eat them. Is that you, Mark? What are you doing hanging around here? You go on home, or I'll get the giant pussycat to eat you. Just my luck. Gonna be a nice day tomorrow.
Hey, Granny, come on in. I switched channels and got an even better picture. The Wolfman marries Snow White.
Turn that thing off and go to bed. I'm gonna have nightmares as it is.
Hot dog, there goes the wedding.
Granny, come in, come in. How long have you been waiting?
Ever since the bank building opened this morning. I gotta talk to somebody who's smart, and you're the smartest person I know.
Well, Granny, that's very flattering. Although I don't look too intelligent with this raincoat and umbrella. I thought it was going to rain today.
No, it's gonna be nice. They'll get to have their picnic.
Who's they?
Ellie Mae and that Navy man, Mark Templeton.
Oh. Tell me, Granny, what do you think of Mr. Templeton?
What do you think of him?
Well, he seems like a fine, eligible young man. Good looking, too.
Then you ain't never been swimming with him, have you?
No, why do you ask?
Never mind. What you don't know won't keep you awake. I had me some bad dreams last night.
What about?
Well, mostly I dreamed that Ellie married a frog.
A frog?
Well, not all frog. The top half was man.
Sort of an aquatic centaur.
What's that?
Well, a centaur is half man and half horse.
Man, sakes, that's worse than being half frog.
Then there's a satyr, part man and part goat.
No.
Oh, yes, Pan, the child of Penelope, was goat from the waist down.
Oh, good heavens, what did Penelope do for him?
Well, there was nothing she could do. Only Zeus could have changed him.
Could you get me that Zeus on the telephone? He sounds like quite a doctor.
Granny, he exists only in Greek mythology. On Mount Olympus.
Well, if it's long distance, I'd be glad to pay for it.
No, I don't mean that.
Don't make house calls, huh?
Definitely not.
Too bad. Them old-time mountain doctors is the best. I ought to know. I'm one myself.
Hey, that's right, you are.
By golly, Miss Jane, I think I can cure that frog man.
Well, since he seems to exist only in your nocturnal fantasies, I would say you're the only one who can cure him.
I'll do it. I'll make a potion, a conjure.
Well, as long as it brings sound sleep, it should be efficacious.
I don't think I got any of that. But I can always stop at a drugstore.
Good morning, Miss Hathaway. Granny, what a pleasant surprise. What are you doing? You're not here to make a withdrawal, are you?
No, I come to get some advice from Miss Jane. She's a smart woman.
Oh, you bet she is.
She helped me solve a problem that's been keeping me awake at night.
Well, good.
I don't know what you pay her, but she deserves a raise.
Well, I'll see that she gets it.
It's a promise.
Of course, the moment you leave here, Miss Hathaway will get a raise.
Good. Bye now, and thanks.
Goodbye, Granny.
Bye, Granny.
Miss Hathaway, a promise is a promise.
This is my raise.
That's it? Now let's get to work.
What you doing, Ellie? I thought you and Mark was going on a picnic.
We are, Pop. That's what I'm fixing victuals for.
Honey, why don't you let Granny fix it?
Well, she's been gone all morning. Besides, Mark ain't never tasted my cooking.
Yeah, I know. Well, what do you make?
Well, I asked him what he liked, and he said spaghetti meatballs and broth. I don't know how to make all of it.
Help yourself. Ellie Mae cooked them.
Bury him.
Hey, boy, I got an idea. You know where to get spaghetti and meatballs and such?
Well, sure. Big Mama Nacarelli's, where the pizza goes round and round in the sky, and Big Mama smiles down at you.
Well, you have her fill up that basket with spaghetti and meatballs and garlic bread and everything that goes with it.
I'll do her.
And hurry back.
Yes, sir.
Secret powders, yarbs, and juice work for me like Dr. Zeus. Eye of a newt, hair of a dog, cure the part of him that's frog. That's it. Come on, hurry up. Time is short.
Ellie Mae, I think Mark is here. Well, come in, young fella. Ellie Mae will be right down.
Well, thank you, Mr. Private.
She has cooked you your favorite victuals, spaghetti, meatballs, and garlic donut. Bread.
I love Italian food. Every chance I get, I go to Mama Nacarelli's.
Well, I think you'll find your picnic lunch today every bit as good.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, Ellie Mae.
Ellie, why don't you wear a dress? Mark will think you're a boy.
No way.
Where's my picnic basket, Pa?
Oh, yeah, let's see. What'd I do with that? You wait right here. I'll find it. Come on, Jethro.
Come on, Potion.
Hurry up, Jethro.
Hurry up, Potion.
Let's have the basket, boy.
Here you are.
This Italian food sure don't weigh much, does it?
Heck, it don't. I must have gained 20 pounds.
You ate it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, run, hurry up. Get another basket.
No, thanks. I ain't hungry.
Oh, did you find it? Oh, good. It's empty.
Jethro, gobble it up.
You big old dumb nut! I'm gonna break every bone in your head.
No, Ellie!
Oh, Mark, you're here. Good. Quick, drink this down.
What is it?
Never mind. It'll make you feel better.
I feel fine.
Well, it'll make you look better. Your eyeballs are a mite bloodshot.
Oh, that's just a little sinus condition from spending so much time underwater.
Well, this'll cure that. Now drink it down.
But what is it?
Do you want to be a frog man the rest of your life?
Well, no, but
Well, then bottoms up.
I don't like drinking anything.
You ever want to see my granddaughter again?
I certainly do.
Then do as I tell you.
Cheers. Oh, that's awful.
What?
Awful good.
How do you feel? Do you feel a little tingly in your feet and your legs?
Everywhere.
Mark, I'm awful sorry, but Jethro ate all the Italian victuals for the picnic.
That's all right, Mr. Private. We'll stop at Mama Nacarelli's and get some.
Well, Jethro's on his way over there to do that right now, and Ellie went along to ride shotgun, so to speak.
Matter of fact, I think I'll drive on over to Mama Nacarelli's and pick Ellie up there.
Well, fine. Have a nice picnic.
You're not going to need this.
Doggone it, he got away. Now I won't know if my potion worked or not. Mark? Is that you? Mark, merciful heavens, my potion worked the wrong way. Instead of old man, I got all frog.
Ready? What you doing? Ain't that Mark's coat and cap?
Yeah, got a spot on it. I gotta clean it for him. Excuse me. Touch of indigestion. I'd best take something for this real soon.
It was a wonderful picnic, Ellie. I really enjoyed it.
So did I. But I'm sorry that you didn't get to eat my cooking.
Well, there'll be other times, I hope.
Me too. So, would you like to go for a swim?
I'd love to, but I'm due at the recruiting office in 10 minutes. Maybe I can get away later.
Sure do hope so.
I'll do my best. Have you seen my coat and cap? I left them on that bench.
Oh, poor Granny likely took them inside.
Now, I'll pick them up another time. I've got to run.
I think this red potion will do it, Mark. It's just a reverse of what I give you before. Now open your mouth and swallow this down. Oh, this will taste better than that green stuff, I promise you. Come on now. Open your mouth and swallow it down.
What you doing now?
Oh, Jed, I'm giving Ellie's frog some tonic. He looks a mite peaked.
Granny, I've never knowed you to take on so over one of Ellie's critters.
Well, this one's found a special place in my heart, Jed. He's cute.
You don't look very cute to me. Well, Ellie, you're back. Where's Mark?
Well, he's gone, Pa, but I'm hoping he'll come back.
Oh, he will, darling. He will, I promise. And if I can't do it, I'll get a hold of Dr. Zeus.
Really, there's really no way to get in touch with Zeus. He was an ancient Greek deity, but no longer.
Passed on, did he?
Well, you might say that.
Well, as long as the old fella had a rich, full life.
He did indeed.
Well, Miss Jane, let me ask you this. With him gone, how would a person go about turning a frog into a man?
Still having bad dreams about frogs.
If I don't pull this off, tonight's gonna be a doozy.
Well, of course, there's a classic story about the beautiful maiden who kissed the frog and turned him into a handsome prince.
Bless you, Miss Jane. I pull this off, I'm gonna get you a mess of frogs, and you can kiss your way to paradise.
Granny? Granny, you here?
Granny left quite a spell ago, Pa.
Did she cook anything before she left?
Don't think so.
I'm getting about as desperate for victuals as Jethro.
Well, if Mark don't come pretty soon, I'll cook you something.
Oh, he'll come. I just know he will.
Ellie Mae!
In here, Granny.
Ellie Mae, you got it. Jed, would you leave us alone, please?
When you gonna cook some victuals?
Well, you go to the kitchen and wait. I'll be right there. Ellie Mae, you gotta do me a favor.
Well, Granny, I'm expecting Mark to come back any minute.
He will. He will. If you just do as I asked you.
What is it?
Take that frog out of the cage and kiss him.
Kiss him? What for?
Oh, please don't ask questions, darling. Just give him a big, sweet kiss. potion what was supposed to make him into all man, but it backfired on me, and it made him all frog.
Do you expect me to believe that?
Do you expect to eat today?
I believe it.
Then I had Ellie kiss the frog, and that changed him into all man.
That's wild.
What?
But true, true. Hey, yonder he comes.
Oh, I wish I could get a look at his feet and legs. I don't know whether Ellie's kiss changed him into all man or just half and half again.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Jethro. How are you, Granny?
Just fine. How are you?
Fine.
You don't have a craving for bugs, do you?
Bugs? No.
Well, that's a good sign. Come on in. Ellie, Mark is here. Be down directly. Come on in the parlor.
Thank you.
Sit down. Take off your shoes.
Take off my shoes?
Yeah. Get comfortable. Put your feet up here on the coffee table and let's have a look at them.
You want to see my feet?
I can tell your fortune that way.
I've heard of palm readers, but...
I'm a foot reader. Let's have a look.
Granny, I feel kind of embarrassed.
You got something to hide?
No, but my feet aren't exactly my best feature.
They ain't webbed, are they?
No, they weren't the last time I looked.
We'll check them. Beautiful. You got a perfectly formed human foot.
Well, thank you. What about my fortune?
Oh, yeah. I see a beautiful blonde young lady has come into your life. Right?
Right?
She lives in a big mansion in Beverly Hills. Right?
Right?
Her name is Ellie Mae Clampett.
Right.
Did I tell you I was a foot reader?
What's going on in here?
Oh, hello, Mr. Clampett. Granny wanted to see my foot.
I want to see her. Come here.
You can put your shoe back on now. Take 2 aspirin and let me know if you have any more trouble.
What was that all about?
Jed, I'm a doctor. The boy had a splinter in his foot.
Did you get it out?
Oh, everything come out just fine.
Is Mark in the parlor?
Yes, Ellie. I'll take you to him.
Oh, she can find it by herself. Now, you stay here.
Howdy, Mark.
Hi, Ellie Mae.
What's the matter, Jed?
I don't want you in there dropping hints about getting married.
Would I do that?
You would. Where are you going?
I have to pass through there to get to the pantry.
Go the back way.
Jed, that's twice as fur. I'm an old woman. I'm tired and worn out. Have a little mercy.
Promise you won't say nothing?
Not a word will I speak.
Okay, but I'll go along just to make sure. Excuse us, young'uns. We just passing through.
Dum-dum-da-dum, dum-dum-da-dum.
Granny.
I didn't say nothing, not a word. Dum-dum-da-dum.
Your grandmother's quite a character.
What you mean?
Well, if you don't know, I can't explain it. It's nice to be alone, isn't it?
Sure is.
You know, Ellie,
Where's Granny and Uncle Jed?
they went that way.
Hey, look what just come in the mail. Old Jim Owens has wrote a book.
Well, that's wonderful. Why don't you take it someplace and read it?
Okay. It's called Jim Owens' Hillbilly Humor. That means jokes and such.
Thanks.
2 hill women was talking, and one says, "What do you think of red china?" And the other says, "I think with a yeller tablecloth, it'd be real pretty." Hey, here's another one. Old Jim says this country was better off when we had more whittlers and fewer chiselers. Hey, here's a dandy. Listen to this.
Jethro, you're not going to read that whole book, are you?
No. We can take turns.
No, thanks. Why don't you read it to your Granny and Uncle Jed?
Good idea. I'll call them in.
No, that isn't what I had in mind.
Jethro, we'd like to be alone.
You gonna neck?
Jethro!
Jethro, what are you doing in here?
I'm reading them this book that come in the mail.
Well, let's read it outside.
You read it. I'm gonna stay here and watch him neck.
Come on, boy, let's go. Old Duke is waiting for you to fetch sticks.
Your cousin Jethro's quite a character, too.
Afraid so. Well, we's alone at last.
Yes. Ellie Mae, there's something I'd like to tell you.
What is it, Mart?
Your granny's watching us.
What you want, Granny?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to see if you was comfortable.
We're fine.
Anything you want or anything you need?
Not a thing.
You know, it's amazing how much you look like your brother, Matthew. The one that's the preacher. The one that's married. The one that's happy.
He seems happy.
Must be right handy to have a brother that's a preacher.
What do you mean?
Well, if there's a wedding in the family, it's free.
I never thought of that.
Think about it.
Youngins, I'm awful sorry for... Granny.
Now, don't get upset. I'm only checking on Mark's foot.
Let's go.
Let me know if you want anything, young'uns, like lemonade or cider or rice or old shoes or orange blossoms.
I'm awful sorry for all these interruptions, Mark.
Well, that's okay.
Well, I think we's finally by ourselves.
It looks that way.
You started to say there was something that you wanted to tell me.
Yes, there is, Ellie. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever met.
Oh, well, thank you.
You have the softest, silkiest hair, most beautiful blue eyes, loveliest complexion, most tempting lips, and the most ridiculous cousin who ever lived.
I was right. This beats Jim Owen's book. Go ahead, kiss her.
Jimbo, I'm going to turn you every way but look.
Miss Jane, can I see you a minute?
Granny, of course. Come in. Sit down.
No, I can't wait. I just wanted to tell you that everything is just fine betwixt Ellie Mae and that Templeton fella.
Good. No more bad dreams about his being half frog?
Not a one. First I mixed up a potion, but it worked in reverse. It turned him into all frog.
What a nightmare that must have been.
It was terrible. But then you told me the story about the pretty girl kissing the frog and turning him into a handsome fella, and that worked just dandy.
Wonderful.
Even his feet is perfect.
His feet.
Oh, Miss Jane, you should have seen him. They was that long and black and webbed, just like a frog.
But everything's all right now. You're sleeping well again.
Thanks to you. And just to show my appreciation, I brought you a present.
Oh, you didn't have to do that.
Well, you're single, and you could use a nice, handsome fella, couldn't you?
That's my present?
You wait right here. Here you are.
It's a frog.
And he's all yours. He don't look like much, but when you kiss him...
Granny, I don't really believe he'll turn into a handsome man.
Well, he might not turn into a movie star. Can't be a winner all the time. But what do you got to lose? Go on. Give him a big smooch.
I'm too embarrassed.
Oh, sure, I understand. I'll wait up here and turn my back.
Believe me, I wish it were possible.
Who put this ugly frog on my desk?
I did.
Oh, Granny. Oh, he's yours? Oh.
Hi there, Mr. Frog. Say, you're a cute little fella.
He ain't a fella yet, but he might be after Miss Jane's kiss.
Kiss?
Oh, Granny believes there's some validity to the old story about the maiden who kisses the frog and turns him into a handsome man.
Granny, that's ridiculous.
I say it ain't. I say I seen it happen. Now, are you saying I'm a liar?
Oh, absolutely not. But if you think Miss Hathaway should kiss the frog...
I think she ought to try it.
Hathaway, hook her up.
Oh, but Chief...
She don't have to do it in front of us. In fact, if she'd rather not, she don't have to kiss him at all.
Oh, thank you, Granny.
You can have his hind legs for supper. That's the beauty of a frog. You can kiss him or cook him.
Pa, would it be all right with you if Mark learns me to scuba?
Well, that depends on what that means.
Well, it means getting to a rubber suit and learning to swim underwater like a frogman.
Well, as long as there ain't no danger to it.
Oh, Mark will take good care of me. Don't you worry.
Ellie says to tell you she'll be right here, Mark.
Thank you, Granny.
You sure do like the water.
I love it.
It's as though you was drawn to it.
I could practically live in the water, Granny.
Ah! Look at your feet. You got frog feet.
That's right. These are my flippers.
Oh.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mark.
Ellie, you gotta keep that boy out of the water.
Why, Granny?
'Cause every time he gets wet, he turns to frog. He put his feet in the cement pond. Look what happened.
Well, them's his flippers, Granny. They help him to swim fast.
Well, don't let him put nothing else in the water.
Come on, Granny. You said you were going to leave the young'uns alone.
Look at it this way, Duke. You're a Beverly Hills dog now. You got to have some class. You don't want to be the only dog in the neighborhood that can't do no tricks. Let's try it again. Go on, boy, fetch it. Get it. Come on, boy. Come on, you can do it. Come on, hurry up now, boy. Come on, hurry. Get, go. Oh, I'll show you one more time. Now watch. See, now that's class.
What are you doing, Jethro?
Try to teach this dumb old hound dog to fetch a stick.
You want to do something. Get him to fetch that Mark Templeton out of the cement pond.
Well, what for?
So he won't turn into a frogman again.
Granny, he is a frogman. Now, why don't you leave him alone?
Don't it bother you that your cousin Ellie might marry a thing like that?
Heck no. I'd like to be a frogman myself.
Are you listening up there? Would you believe this family of nuts that I'm stuck with? Give me a sign. Tell me what to do. I'm at my wit's end. Jethro, what kind of a bird is that up there?
That's a seagull.
Ooh, a water bird. That's my sign. I gotta get out back and try once again to get him out of the water.
That sure does look like fun, Mark. Do you think you could learn me to do all that?
Sure, you're a good swimmer. You make a fine frog woman.
Should I put on this here gear and try it?
Well, my gear would be too large. I'll get you a scuba outfit of your own.
Ellie! Mark!
We's here, Granny.
Ellie, I told you to keep him out of the water. Now look at him.
That's all right, Granny. This is how a frogman's supposed to look.
Well, for heaven's sake, don't let him get his head wet.
Granny, I thought you was going to stay away and leave these young'uns alone.
Well, look at him, Jed. He's a frogman again.
I know that.
Pa, is it all right if Mark makes me into a frog woman?
Why, sure.
Oh.
Here you are, Granny. I made you some sassafras tea. That'll straighten you out.
Oh, sure it will. My granddaughter's in love with a frogman. Jethro and Ellie both want to become frog people. And you're going to straighten everything out with sassafras tea. What a family.
Well, Granny, you might as well get used to the notion. Ellie is pretty serious about that boy.
Some boy. You drop him in water and you get instant frog.
Yeah, you just have your tea and get some rest and everything's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Hello, Ellie.
Oh, hi, Miss Jane.
Granny gave me this frog, and I have no place to keep him.
Oh, he looks like the frog Granny had in the cage yesterday. She made a pet out of it, named him Mark.
Well, hello there, Miss Hathaway. Nice to see you again.
Well, nice to see you too, Lieutenant.
Is it all right if I leave my scuba gear in the dressing room?
Sure is. Mark's gonna get me one of them rubber suits and learn me to scuba.
I'd like to have her measurements.
So would I. Ellie, Mark needs your measurements and got the proper size suit for you.
Oh, I'm 36, 24, 36.
What a coincidence. We have the same sized waist.
Well, I'll be on my way. I'll bring your gear by later, Ellie.
Thank you, Mark.
Bye, Miss Hathaway.
Oh, I'm leaving now, too, Lieutenant. I'll walk you to the car. You don't mind, do you, Ellie?
Oh, not at all.
You might pretend to mind just a little.
Mark, I bet you'd like to have a swim. There you are. Have fun now. If I see a cricket, I'll fetch it to you.
Who are you talking to, Ellie?
Mark, he's having a swim in the cement pond.
Where are you, Mark? I can't see you. Oh, no, boy. Why wouldn't you listen to me? I begged you to stay out of the water. I pleaded with you. I know this would happen. Well, there's only one person I know that's smart enough to help me.
More bad dreams, Granny.
Oh, this is worse than a bad dream, Miss Jane.
Well, I think I know someone who can help you, Granny. He's a doctor here in the building, a psychiatrist. He's excellent at this sort of thing. I'm sure I can get him to see you immediately.
Did you hear that, Mark? We's gonna get help for you.
How do you do? I'm Dr. Klinger.
Howdy, Doctor. I'm Granny. And this is Mark Templeton.
Nice-looking frog.
You ought to see him in his uniform. He's handsome.
His uniform.
He's a lieutenant in the United States Navy.
Well, Miss Hathaway said you had a problem, and you do. Now, why don't you just lie down over here and tell me all about it?
Well, he's the one with the problem. If he goes back to the Navy like that, who's gonna salute him?
Well, then why don't you both make yourself comfortable? Now, begin at the beginning and tell me all about it.
Well, he come to the house a few days ago and commenced courting my granddaughter.
I see. And what did your granddaughter think about that?
Oh, she liked him straight off. Now she's head over heels in love with him.
With Mark here.
Yeah. I think she wants to marry him.
Did you by any chance bring your granddaughter with you today?
No, I left her home.
Too bad. Tell me, has she ever become fond of any other creatures? For example, a bird or a mouse?
Well, she ain't much for mice, but she's got a pigeon she's real crazy about.
Pigeon. Well, they're very nice.
And then, of course, there's Elmer the raccoon and Ralph the possum.
Huh. But has she ever expressed a desire to marry either of them?
Oh, no, she likes him. But Mark here is the only one that she's serious about.
I'm awfully sorry you didn't bring her along.
You'd like her. She's a real beauty.
She sounds like it.
I think one of the reasons she took to Mark straight off is that he looks so much like his brother. Handsome rascal.
Is Mark's brother in the Navy, too?
No, he's a preacher.
Uh-huh. Well, and tell me, Granny, exactly what would you like me to do to help you?
He won't listen to me. Will you please tell him to stay out of the water?
Mark, stay out of the water.
Thank you, Doctor. You don't know what you've done.
That is the absolute truth.